and then I welcome Dr. Julia Kotzebue. Welcome to for the presentation to this.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you also. If you can.
So, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Julia Kotzebue. I'm here guest researcher at the Department of Geography at the University of West Indies, and my home department is at the University of Hamburg in Germany. And I would like to give you the first insights of the project which brought me here. In this research project, I link sustainable transport development and community development and using a social geo-communication web-based tool. So the pilot study is carried out at Charlotteville, where I test and use this web-based social geo-communication tool in close collaboration with the community. So that means it is a testing in a real-life context, and it takes mutual learning place. So Charlotteville function as a sort of living lab. The reason to choose Charlotteville is that Charlotteville is located at the edge of one of the oldest nature protected area in Tobago, and which is also a United Nations natural heritage. And government proposed in 2019 to introduce a marine protected zone. So if this is going through, then Charlotteville will be located in a fully protected area. And this affects the transport situation and mobility situation in Charlotteville and vice versa. So how the village is affected is can be exemplified by this picture. What you're seeing on the picture is a place in front of the beach, which was once a place where people met, where bands were playing, and which is more and more coming a full parking area. So there are scholars in sustainable transport who saying that the increase of car use and the car dependency has created an individualistic society with little recognition for the community and mutual support. Well, if we look to the policy which facilitated such car dependency and high car use in Trinidad and Tobago, we see that the policy is outdated, has little recognition for sustainable transport, and having no policy or an outdated policy created a sort of centralistic project-based transport policy with very little or no recognition for community transport needs. So, well, to involve the community better in transport and neighborhood development, frequently web-based social geo-communication tools are used. So I also would like to use such a tool in the rural context. My tool I created here is fully cost-free, so it bases on Google Maps and WordPress. And the community can raise ideas, load up pictures, discuss and comment on sustainable transport needs. So the idea to using that tool comes from a project I was involved, which was also a pilot project in the city of Hamburg, where government tested such a geo-communication tool in neighborhood and transport development. If we enable the community to be involved in transport, sustainable transport development, then this means that the former top-down policy becomes more a governance process than that it's a task of government. So this means that more actors are involved, governmental and non-governmental actors. And if we also assume that this policy is context sensitive, then it is also a question how these actors take in consideration specialities. So the whole process becomes more a steering process on the apprehension, the organization, the use of functions, and the appearance of space and place. This was might exemplified by the picture I showed before by the parking area. So whether this becomes a parking area or it is a place for the community, which can be used by all members. So the research question is to what extent support such a web-based social geocommunication tool, the sustainable transport solution finding and community building in Tobago. I skip a little bit the methodological part because you can read that in the paper. So it's a mixed research method design. Computer-based software is used to analyze the data. What maybe is important is that is a theory guided content analysis where I use my spatial governance framework. I assume that the whole process of policy making, policy implementation is steered by key actors which act according to their cognition, their capacities, and their motivation. And if we take also the specialities into consideration, then also the characteristics of place, the boundaries, the value that people bestow on place, nature, and functions are important to steer the whole process. So let's come to the results. I have to stress here that these are preliminary results. So the study is still ongoing and still has a whole year. I have still a whole year to do. So, but we asked the community with regards to the transport mode they use, and 62% said that they use maxi taxi, 32 the public transport, and 32 hitchhiking, which shows a different picture of what we see maybe in Trinidad and in other urban areas, because here in Charlotteville there is already a sharing mobility in place. So other cities would dream of such numbers. With regards to the sustainability transport indicators, since there are no universal indicators, we asked the community what is important for them and used indicators from other sustainable transport studies. And what is remarkable here is that for the community, reliability is very important, and safety, and less important is environmental friendliness and health. And this is also shows a different picture than in urban areas. Usually in urban areas, with regards to sustainable transport, health and environmental friendliness is very important. So when we speak about the core characteristics of the community, their cognition, then it becomes clear that government, the most of the community consider government as the main responsible actor to provide transport. With regards to the tool, we can say that there is a poor digital capacity and literacy in the village. That does not mean that people are not able to use a smartphone or a computer. It means that the community has hesitations to use such a tool to express their needs on a public platform, and to discuss it on a public platform. When we asked them personally, they wanted to express their needs, but not when they had to use the tool. So, and there is little understanding for that sustainable transport needs to be environmental friendly. If we come to their motivation, then almost 30% think that the cooperation is very important to create sustainable transport solutions. But 35% of the community is saying that the community is doing nothing for them, so they do nothing for the community. And together with the cognition that government has to provide the transport, this might indicate that there's a low motivation to participate and to develop and implement such solutions. With regard to the capacity, when we ask the community if they have the capacity to do such a project and to find solution, they said that 22% consider the community council as very important, but 10% also have the idea that they can do nothing and can change nothing. However, we are still learning, and the project is still in progress, so there is no conclusion yet. This was my insights. I just placed it on the chat. Those who are interested in sustainable transport, I would like to initiate a transport working group here at the UV, and I would like to invite you to a Zoom meeting. I'm also in contact with Bristol University Press, who is interested in to publish a book on this issue. Yeah, thank you very much. If you would like to have more insight, just visit the website.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kotzebue. Any questions? We have one for you, Doctor.
Yes.
Hitchhiking is surprising, yes, considering local culture and crime fears. Yes. Hitchhiking is not common among local population. Are those hitchhiking figures mainly related to tourists, visitors, or can you give any insights?
I think it depends on the definition of hitchhiking. The community knows each other well. So what they're doing usually is when they miss a public transport or a maxi taxi, or a maxi taxi is not coming, which shows that reliability is very important. Many people just wait on the street and wait for someone picking them up. Often they know the people, but so yeah, the village is small enough that they wait for someone to pick them up. And we didn't ask tourists, we only asked community members, and that is what they were saying. They asked someone to give them a lift.
Okay. How do you translate a model from Hamburg to a small village like Charlotteville?
So this is an action research. So I'm not translating a model, I'm just using the platform, and it is already visible that in this first half year that the use of the platform is not used as in urban areas, because the community first has to learn and to trust to use such a tool and see it as a sort of opportunity to raise their ideas. However, I went to schools, for example, and we mapped together with the students their ideas. And what came obvious was that when I showed the students just the map, they were not able to sign in where they are located. But when I showed them a satellite picture and I showed them Google Maps, they were fully sure, and they could see where they are located, and they could say where are the danger spots in the village, for example.
Thank you. Another question. What was the order of your mixed methods? Qualitative first, then quantitative?
The quantitative nature comes from the research design. It is an action research where I closely work in collaboration with the community. So, however, I think it is very important to have also numbers which show the situation, because of the lack of data in regards to this research field. So there's very little sustainable transport data in villages available in Trinidad. So I first had to ask them, how is the situation here in Charlotteville, before I could continue with the qualitative questions.
Thank you, Professor Ray. Oh, there's one more question for you. I think we have time. Would you consider motorcycling to be a feasible, more sustainable option for Charlotteville?
I have a motorcycle. I have a bicycle which is electric. So I bicycle here. I didn't use it in Charlotteville. However, bicycling in the survey, bicycling was not considered as a mode of transport. Especially young children and teenagers did not use it. This shows a different picture than in urban areas. What I said, the research is still ongoing. When I asked school students, for example, if they would like to bicycle, they would like, but they're not feeling safe. So I think there is more need to educate drivers and also educate the people who would like to use bicycling to feel them more comfortable.
And finally, is there a plan to extend any findings to other areas of the island or in the country?
The whole project is designed as with a very low budget. So what I said, I designed the method with Google Maps and WordPress. So it can be copied by every community. However, I would like first to carry out that project and see what are the challenges and what are the opportunities to enable maybe other communities, if it's found as suitable, to copy that whole method.
Thank you. Professor Ray?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Kotzebue, and for your very informative presentation in the context of the local context and bringing new informations on your mixed method research. And also, I would request if somebody is interested to join our